Hi there, YouTube. It is I, the one, the only, Naudia Exotica. I'm back after a month-long hiatus. Unintentional month-long hiatus, mind you. And here I am, pouring my absolute heart out to YouTube. Wow. So I have a couple... Let's not start this here. I have a couple disclaimers that I kind of want to throw at you because this is so different for me. And I don't know why it's like different. Like, I don't know why this to me is so unfathomably different to things, to what I'm used to. I honestly, I don't even know where to start. I don't pour my heart out like this often, and I'm not super vocal about my gender identity on any other, like on this platform, specifically on YouTube. It's very much a thing on my campsite. For those who are just encountering this video, I am an adult model, cam performer, and I obviously have to be very, very upfront about that. My gender identity about that, like on my campsite and on my adult sites. And my campsite's kind of like my little safe haven. Like, it's my little happy place, you know, and it's normal. Like, it comes easily and naturally for me there, but here, YouTube, broadcasting it to a lot of people, which is fine. It's just not something I'm used to. So here goes nothing. Another disclaimer. Sorry, I'm throwing out like so many, like I always say, I have to preface this by, but I do have to preface this by saying your ignorance is not welcome here at all. You can ask me questions respectfully, absolutely, but I won't be tolerating ignorance. I won't be tolerating complete just closed-mindedness. It's not welcome here. That's your problem, not mine. Don't make it my problem. You know, that's your thing to deal with. Because I know exactly who I am, and I know like exactly what it all means. I know what I embody. I know, you know, myself. I know myself. And with that being said, for those who don't know, I am male to female transgender, a male to female transgender woman, and I've been presenting this way since I was 13 years old. I transitioned when I was 12/13 years old. Where to start? I mean, like, okay, another thing. I really wanted to kind of like dive deep into this on the Softway Underbelly YouTube channel that I was going to have an interview with. Mark, if you're by some chance you watch this, I still really want my interview. I know that he's a very busy man. I know that he has a lot on his plate, I'm sure. And I was hoping that this past January we could have met, but he's still in LA on Skid Row. So, but I get it. He probably has his plate absolutely full. That being said, I that's kind of where I wanted to do this, but instead I figured let's have a go on my channel. Anyways, I'm literally like, I'm like distracted. Okay. So I transitioned when I was about 12 years old. And I can give you the whole runaround with the whole, like, I always knew when I was young, I always knew something was up, and it's very true. Like, I always had a feeling like this is not correct. This is not right. I was very vocal about it at like 8 or 9 years old, specifically to my aunt. But of course, my mother, she knew something was up. My whole family knew something was up and didn't care one bit what my answer was. They accepted me for whoever I am, and obviously that's like such a blessing, and I'm so grateful for it. But I remember vocally saying, something isn't right. Like, this isn't right. I should have long hair. I should look like a girl. I should be a girl. When I was around 8, to my great aunt, and she kind of was just like, okay, you know, like, okay, tell me more, you know. And that's kind of when that all kind of, I guess, snowballed. Like, you know, like, it kind of I presented something that I was feeling internally, and it kind of went from there. I always hung out with the girls. I always had girlfriends. I always painted my nails. Halloween came and I wanted to dress up as witches, specifically witches. But any sort of girl, sorry. Okay. Just the Instagram thing. Any sort of girl, feminine figure, character, whatever. My girlfriends always treated me like I was just one of the girls. Like, it just kind of was like so unspoken. It was kind of just like an understanding that we clicked that sort of a way. Like, I was just another one of the girls. I was a homegirl, you know, like, it was very much that. No one really kind of questioned it in my middle school years, you know, even elementary. And it wasn't until my 8th grade year of middle school that I kind of, well, okay, my aunt and uncle, my great aunt and great uncle had a timeshare that they got from another one of my aunts, and it was at the Donatello Hotel in San Francisco. I will always remember that hotel name. In fact, I want it tattooed on me somewhere. Because it's just so significant, and that weekend excursion that I took changed my life entirely. And so, yes, they had a timeshare for the weekend of the Halloween weekend of my 8th grade year. And for whatever reason, I just kind of had this like wild, feeling that like, I need to go presenting as a girl. And my cousin, who is a year younger than me, at the time she was, she, I don't know, was kind of like rallying me to do it, like cheering me on, like, yes. And that weekend, she, let me borrow her clothing. We shared clothes. It was just, I don't even know, like, it just was so in tandem with everything that I had felt, you know? Sorry, I don't want to get emotional. This is very I'm trying to get straight to the point. It was such a mutual understanding, you know, and that things were just kind of falling into place. My great aunt, who I owe her my life. She literally has provided, I would not be anywhere where I am at today, like, if it wasn't for her. She's provided literally everything for me. And pretty much everyone in the family too. Like, she has been the backbone, the matriarch of my family. And I remember at the time she owned a restaurant. I believe I've like spoken about this before, that I previously, one of my first jobs was at my aunt's brew pub / restaurant. One of her regulars did nails. She was a nail technician. And I remember, which by the way, I'm getting mine done tomorrow because they look garbage. I remember the morning we were supposed to leave, I woke up really, really early and I went to Coco's house. Her name was Coco. And she did my nails for me for that weekend little getaway. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Like, thinking about it makes me want to cry. And I will never forget, they were short, square, black tips with sparkles. And I don't know, like, she just did them. Like, she didn't ask any questions. She was very happy to do it. You know, it was a favor for my aunt, and it was just amazing. I don't know. The more I think back on it, the more I'm like, everyone kind of, it's not like rallying together in the sense that like they're trying to make something work. It's more in the sense that like, it was just, I was surrounded by support. you know, every which way, family, non-family. Like, I couldn't have asked for like a better scenario, you know. And I also have to say, I know that's not the case for everyone, and I just wish like everyone had the same support system that I had. And if you don't, and you need a listening ear, please, like, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, please. But anyways, so I got my nails done. I remember my aunt bought me clip-in extensions that weekend. From Sally's Beauty Supply. And, I had my nails done, my hair did. I was looking like exactly how I wanted to look. And I remember when I told my mom, she was just kind of just like, okay, you know, this is something you want to do it, you know, like, I support you. She was very, very scared, for my safety. And oh my goodness, as my high school years went on, she had every reason to be scared. I keep bouncing like from topic to topic, but just to say, just like to preface, like, all through my high school years, I was hanging out with gangbangers. I was doing really stupid shit, basically in a predicament that someone like myself should not have been in. I was putting in work, and it was terrible. I was doing really stupid shit. But anyways, that's a whole other video. So yeah, my mother was supportive. My brothers absolutely supportive. My sister was so excited. My older sister. I'm the baby of 4, by the way. So we had our little getaway. A weekend in San Francisco, staying at a very nice hotel, the Donatello, like I said. We did a bunch of different things. Went to the museums. Went to the IMAX theater, which, by the way, the Donatello Hotel is like a couple blocks away, if I'm not mistaken, from... No, is it? I think it's like a couple blocks away from the IMAX theater, because I feel like we walked there. But anyways, it was a whole weekend full of fun things, living out like my internal like identity for that weekend. Like, I was being treated the way that I felt like I wanted to be treated in life. Like, I was like looked at as a female. I was looked at as a girl. I'll never forget, like, I thought it was the most astonishing thing. I had a guy open the door for me, like, certain things like that, you know, that I'm like, whoa, like, what the hell? And it was such an eye-opening, surreal experience. It was something I had only dreamed of. And I was living it. Oh, gosh, like, I don't know. And it was so perfect. I was with my aunt and uncle. I was with my cousin. My cousin and I were like best friends when we were younger. We were attached at the hip. We'd do everything together. And like, it was like I had like my best friend throughout the trip as well. So it was just so amazing. Like, and the fact that we got to do fun activities. We went to Lucky, what was it called? Oh gosh, I can't remember that name. Lucky sports bar. Like, I think it was a sports bar. Was it a diner? I don't remember. It was just a bunch of stuff. Amazing stuff. And thinking about it now makes me want to sob. Because you just couldn't ask for a better kind of like opening to something very life-changing. So yeah, Sunday came and I was so upset. I was sad beyond words, because I knew I had to go back to my shitty little fucking town that I lived in, right back to school, like pretty much like nothing happened, you know. And I'll never forget that night, the night before we were supposed to leave. I was in tears. I was ugly crying. I was so upset. I was like, this is not supposed to come to an end. This is not supposed to stop. Like, this is how I'm supposed to be 24/7. I'm sorry. I can't fathom a life. Like, I genuinely cannot live out a life that isn't this. It has to be every single day. It has to be my life. It's not just dress up. It's not just a weekend thing. It's not going to be ever so often. This is how I have to live, or else I don't want to carry on. Like, that's where my mental space was at 12, 13 years old. I genuinely can't remember. I think I was like 12, because I remember starting testosterone blocker. I'll get to that. So after that happened, I remember coming home. I remember I was in the bathroom biting my acrylic nails off so I could go to school the next day. And sorry. Pretty much, I didn't know what direction to turn in. I was like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, what the hell? Like, what? Like, I need answers. I didn't know which way was up, which way was down. I did not know what to think of it all. I didn't know what it meant, you know? Because you're so young at that age. You just don't know. And I became really, like, just confused and depressed. I was so depressed. I remember my mom even commenting and telling me, like, she was really worried, you know, and that she saw a big difference in my mood after that trip. I also have to point out, before this trip, this was when, like, the internet was a lot different. And I remember World of Warcraft was such a thing. This was like when it first started. This was vanilla World of Warcraft, sorry, if you are familiar. For all my gamer people out there. I remember when I started playing that game, it was because my brothers played it, and I will never forget, like, not only would I make girl characters, but I would also introduce myself as a girl. I remember talking on Ventrilo. If you know what Ventrilo is, you're a true World of Warcraft player. You're an OG. I remember introducing myself to new guilds on Ventrilo, you know, as a female, as a girl. And yeah, so anyway, so there was a bunch of stuff like that. Like, not so much living a double life, but more so just kind of like expressing myself differently online versus in person and at school. So yeah, so my mother saw a huge change in my mood. She saw that I was super depressed and I was lost, you know. I had an experience that was just so one of a kind and extraordinary and, like, so pivotal and unique to myself, to me, to my being. So we needed answers. My mother and my aunt, kind of like, came together to figure out what to do. My aunt found a gender therapist, and I would love to say his name, but I don't know. I don't want to know if he would feel comfortable saying if I said his name, you know. But he was a wonderful, wonderful gender therapist who I saw for years after my 8th grade year. But I started seeing him. I went to meetings, groups. He had a foundation, or like a nonprofit kind of thing, business, I guess. I don't know if that's the correct terminology. Where he would have meetings, different kind of potlucks and stuff, and it was all for, like, allies and trans people, gay, lesbian, bisexual, anyone. It was for the LGBT community. And then within that, of course, there was, like, trans women meetings, you know, male to female meetings, female to male meetings, you know, and each were facilitated by a certain, like, person of that business. And so he encouraged me to go to the larger group meetings that were held at his school on weekdays. Like, I think it was like on Thursdays or Wednesdays, Thursdays, I don't know. And I started going to those. I started seeing him once a week for probably like a good 6 or 7 months. until I made the decision to start hormones, or not hormones, sorry, testosterone blockers. So the blockers prevent puberty and kind of give you time to decide whether or not you want to start hormones. And after 7 months of being on hormones, I keep saying hormones. After 7 months of being on testosterone blockers, I remember, so I transitioned technically my 8th grade year, because I remember starting the blockers my 8th grade year, but I didn't socially or physically and aesthetically transition until like right before freshman year of high school. The summer before freshman year of high school. And I believe, yeah. And so basically, like, it wasn't until the summer that I remember I went to my sister's house, at the time she lived 2.5 hours away, I believe. And that was when I did like a big shopping spree. I got my hair done, and she was with me throughout all of that. And it was so like, it just built like such a nice bond, you know, and it was so nice. And I needed to prepare to get ready for freshman year. My freshman year of high school, I went to a whole completely different high school that's ways away. I remember having to take a bus. For 3 years of my high school experience, I took a bus that would pick me up at 6:30 a.m. and got me to school right before 8. And yeah, so freshman year went somewhere completely far away and just kind of different. You know, I needed a different atmosphere to be in, and somewhere I could be like start new. And boy did I, because I swear I was just in some shit. Like, I really was just, that was a whole moment, and that's seriously like a whole other story. But ended up hanging out with really terrible people and doing stupid dumbass shit, like I said, and it's just a whole mess. But that's kind of where it all like started for me, you know. And it was such like life-changing moment, but it was also just so perfect. And I feel bad saying that, because I know a lot of people, if not a majority of trans people, people's transitions are really difficult, really hard. And I totally sympathize with you. Like, I seriously feel for you. And like I said, I'm always a listening ear. Don't hesitate to reach out. But I also encourage you, obviously, please, like, seek counseling, seek therapists, seek therapy. That should be like rule number 1, step number 1. But it would just, it's just amazing, you know. And I'm not like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I've just never really been, my mom always really wanted for me to be stealth. My sexual partners always knew what they were getting themselves into. But in social situations, I'm really not the type to like yell it. I'm not going to yell it to the room or announce it, because what's the point? Like, I want to go do my errands and come right back home. I'm not gonna fuck, you know, like, and I can do that. I'm so blessed to be able to blend in and kind of just stay out of the damn way. I don't want issues. There's no point, you know. I don't get harassed on the street. I can be myself, and I can just kind of just do what I need to, you know. And it wasn't until my later adulthood that I'm like, I should at least have like I should at least be forthcoming with it online, you know, just so I can hopefully help someone, you know, like, so I can my story can hopefully lead someone the right direction, if that's your answer, you know. So yeah. And it's a big thing, you know, for me. This is so out of like my comfort zone, but I feel like it's so necessary, you know. And I also have to say, working has also helped me kind of just wear it on my shoulder and kind of just be like, this is who I am. take it or leave it. If you find me sexy, that's dope. If not, that's fine too. You know, like, we just be friends. It's not going to hurt you hearing someone else's experience. It's not. It's absolutely not. And in fact, it should broaden your horizons or expand your horizons. It should, like, open your mind, you know, that your existence isn't the only one that lives on planet Earth. And I always treat people the way I want to be treated. And it isn't until someone treats me poorly that I treat them fucking poorly right back. I'm sorry, but it's true. But that's what I want people to take away from this video is don't ever fucking live by someone else's standards. That's bullshit. I've always moved to the beat of my own drum. I've always lived the way I felt I needed to. I've always intuitively moved, you know, and I remember, I'll never forget, like, so my sophomore year of high school, I went back to my hometown, because I got kicked out of my first school. It's a whole thing. So I was in my hometown going to school, and I remember, like, the people who were, like, supportive of me always saying, like, how do you do it? You know, you're so courageous. Like, it takes so much courage, and, you know, you're so strong. And that, honestly, I'm sorry. At the time, I was full of myself. I was even more outspoken. But that, to me, at the time, was so, like, stupid. Like, it was in one ear and out the other. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, I'm living the way I fucking feel like is appropriate, like how I need to in order to live. It's not like, you know, it's not this big old fucking thing. Why would you let someone else's negative view of yourself, which is not your problem to begin with, hinder how you're going to live and how you feel, like, and your happiness? It makes absolutely no sense. So to me at the time, I didn't see it as courage. I didn't see it as courageous. I saw it as, this is just how the fuck I am. Take it or fucking leave it. And I obviously still see it like that, but it you know, it was such an obvious answer, if that makes sense. So if you're struggling with yourself out there, I really encourage you, please, to seek therapy. Absolutely. There is no shame in it. You need answers. You can get it that way. And to not give a flying fuck. Don't ever question your validity. Don't ever fucking second guess who the fuck you are, period, point blank. Don't let people fucking dictate how you live your life and run your life. It's absolutely not fucking worth it. You're gonna drive yourself insane. So that's my piece of advice to you. And that's like beyond gender identity. That's like in all areas of your life. Fuck it. It's your life. You live it exactly how you want and you see fit. As long as you're not harming anyone, you can never be wrong, period. Like, you just can't. So that's really that. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's it. You know, that is the beginning of Naudia Exotica. So that's me pouring my heart out to you, and I really encourage you to stick around, subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions or comments, send them to me in an email, naudiaexotica@gmail.com. You can also follow all my links, including my NSFW links, naudiaexotica.com. I'm not plugging my blog until I write another post on it, so don't even trip. Like, don't even look at my blog, honestly. Like, damn. And until the next video, please live for yourself. Don't let anyone ever invalidate you and tell you how to fucking live. Until the next video.